So this is what I was talking about. Come over here.
My name's Dylan.
Dylan.
Nice to meet you.
So Aaron's our DSP engineer. He's also the guy that set up all the CNC stuff for us.
Okay.
So he's our thinkers.
Okay.
So
code writing and all that.
yeah. All the engineering stuff, I wish I could do, but he does better than me. So,
crazy.
But that's the code that goes into our digital platforms. So
what language is it?
This is just assembly language for the chip itself. So pretty similar to like most other chips in their assembly language, but this is it's pretty stripped down. So it's mostly just algebraic sort of expressions for the most part.
wow, very basic. Like put this number in this box, multiply this box by this box. You know, very big. So when people are like, "Oh, he's just downloading," what did you call it?
Yeah, like I don't know, like downloading plugins. You know, like people. I was telling him earlier. You know, it's one of the. He was saying it's one of the funny things you hear, like on the internet and stuff. Well, they're just modifying.
Keeley's just downloading plugins and
putting them in different chips. You know, like or putting them in the same chip. You know, like it's some kind of amplifier or something. Yeah. You know, like.
Not at all.
Obviously not.
We are at this critical stage where we've kind of outgrown the spin to some extent. The spin chip is the DSP chip we use.
Okay.
So we're searching for what's next. And at the next level above this, I don't know, I consider this phenomenon that the engineers and the chip designers don't have a very good communication system with the end user. There's always this huge gap. Those guys expect you to know everything and be self-sufficient and know as much as they do, right?
Right.
And that's not the case, and they never have enough literature, and they never have enough explanation or resources. So when you're trying to go from analog devices to Sharp to Dream to blah, 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 there's such a huge gap in trying to decide, because none of them are cheap. If they are cheap, they have less support and services,
right?
Or they don't even speak your language.
Cheap out, yeah.
Or if they are something like Sharp, well then it's $5,000 for this, it's $8,000 for this, it's $2,000 for this, and every year you get to pay more of this, that, and everything. Oh, and now we get the circuit board building stuff. Creighton here, what you jamming to, Creighton?
Just envelope land.
Envelope land. So we are in the midst of redesigning our envelope filter.
Yep.
We've got some killer new features to it. One's a blend control, one's an expression control, and
CD control.
now we've got a control voltage to it. So he's got a drum machine hooked up to the control voltage input of our new envelope filter.
Wow.
So now we can have stuff like drum machines, drum kits, oscillators, controlling the filtering of your guitar and stuff like that. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
I know. So imagine like something that's just a funky type soul band or a rhythm and blues type band where the guy's got an electronic set or some kind of trigger, and he can trigger your wah or your filter or whatever.
Oh, so the drummer is basically controlling your tap tempo for whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow, that's totally cool.
Totally cool. And it opens it up for delays then too, or any number of things where you have a trigger, keyboard player, whatever. So it's pretty exciting sounding, you know what I mean?
That is wild.
So we're putting those things together. We'll probably release it as kind of a limited edition to see if we can get some more feedback from customers on what else they would like, or how it all integrates together. So
that's cool.
So he does all the circuit boards. So everything you see.
You build all of them, or okay?
Yeah, design them
all.
In the CAD.
Okay.
And then so he does all the layout of the components. Then of course he sources all the components, and then we, do big bulk orders for him. A lot of things start with a hand-built version of the board. No, I think about half of them start as a hand-built version of the board with through-hole parts. But then he does all the prototyping for all the surface mount type stuff. So if it's like our new stereo platform in there, that's all surface mount. And so he'll build those up as well. Yep. So he's got all kinds of hats.
That's what we're doing now. So this is kind of the.
Yeah, check out this picture. This is a great picture to show. like, so right
Go ahead
now,
and get real tight on it.
he's got a board out, and this is our new envelope filter. And so he's got one switch for the on-off, one switch for whether it wahs up or wahs down. He's got the expression pedal jack, the control voltage jack, in and out. Then all these are the resistors and capacitor. These are called, those purple lines are called air wires. And
A lot of parts on this one.
they show where the connections need to be. So then once he places it, maybe you can show a picture of a board. I don't want to confuse you, get you lost, but once it's done, it can sometimes look like an amazing city or something like that. Yeah, once when Creighton and I were designing the aux blood, we're like, all right, this all works. He's got the board all laid out. We get the prototype in, we build it up, and it's like, wow, this thing is microphonic. It sounds like a steel drum. What could be the problem? What was the difference between the other one that we just built? And, you know, that's where we learn the hard lessons of like, oh, you can't use those kind of capacitors at all in this section of the circuit. So then, you know, back to the drawing board, redo it, replace those with film caps, and then it's like, oh wow, great, no noise. Great, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But it is a learning process to decide what...
We've got kind of a standard now, but yeah, back in the day, we were just kind of going around and...
Well, you don't know until you
Decide.
experience the challenges.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying it's fun to work with other companies, other people, because you don't know all the challenges until you start doing new things.
Yeah.
And so doing new projects with people, doing new things, always leads to problems.